The fix is in, and Democrats officially are planning to cheat in the 2024 election as Biden opposes the SAVE Act, which require identification to vote. We have a lot to unpack here on Beyond the Headlines, only on Vigilant News. This segment is sponsored by Done With Debt, providing debt relief solutions at donewithdebt.com. It's time sensitive. Get rid of your debt today. I'm Elijah Schaefer. Let's start the show. Well, we all know that Democrats are planning to cheat. It's that they already did cheat in the last election, but this time the Gateway Pundit reports that they're being open about it. Biden is expected to veto the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act, preventing illegals from voting in presidential elections. Claims bill is based on easily disproven falsehoods. But what does that mean? Let's get into it. The White House issued a statement on Monday condemning a House Republicans bill requiring proof of citizenship when registering to vote in federal elections. The bill amends the National Voter Registration Act of 1993 to require voters to show documentary proof of United States citizenship. Under current law, states can only require proof of citizenship to register to vote in local and state elections. The Gateway Pundit recently reported on Democrats' opposition to the bill and Minority Whip Catherine Clark's efforts urging House Democrats to vote no on the bill this week. Clark dishonestly claimed that the new law would prevent Americans from registering to vote with their driver's license alone and would make passports the only acceptable standalone form of identification, which is complete BS. The bill outlines 5 acceptable forms of identification to prove citizenship. Elon Musk weighed in on the controversy, tweeting, "Those who oppose this are traitors." All caps, traitors. What is the penalty for traitors again? The legislation will likely be dead on arrival in the Senate, but that's not stopping House Democrats and the Biden regime from stepping in and spewing propaganda to confuse Americans before the Democrats continue to allow illegals to vote in federal elections. Quote, "This bill would do nothing to safeguard our elections, but it would make it much harder for all eligible Americans to register to vote and increase the risk that eligible voters are purged from voter rolls," said a statement from the White House, adding, "It is extraordinarily rare for non-citizens to break the law by voting in federal elections." That's if we go down there, it's already illegal. It's interesting, though, that they say it's already illegal for illegals to vote in an election, but it's already illegal for them to be here. You know, it's also illegal to kill people in a gun-free zone. It's illegal to carry a gun in a gun-free zone, but the school shootings keep happening, probably at behest of the FBI's nudging. But I'm just saying that's the dumbest line of thought I've probably heard today. Now, the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, weighed in on this, trying to bring some clarification, and he had something to say. This just dropped a few minutes ago. Listen.
They've also been misleading everybody about the SAVE Act, which will be on the floor that you've heard about this morning. It's a very important piece of legislation. They're claiming to oppose the bill because they say it's going to make it harder to vote, but they know that that is not true. Many of the Democrats want all of these illegals to participate in our federal elections. They want them to vote. There's no other conclusion that you can draw. When the White House announced they would veto the bill, they effectively handed our elections over to all of these illegal aliens that have come here. And the number is far greater than what is being reported. We were in conference this morning. One of our colleagues from the state of Kentucky was down at the Texas border over the last week. And he was there with top border officials. It was down south of Laredo. And he said that he and the colleagues that were there personally witnessed 9 illegals cross the border and disappear into the woods. And 2 Border Patrol agents tried to follow them on foot, and they lost them. And they came back, and our colleagues then asked, "Well, how will you account for those numbers? To send to DHS so they can add them to the number?" And they said, "We can't count them." "What do you mean?" "Well, the secretary in DHS does not allow us to count anyone unless we can say conclusively that they didn't cross back over the border and go back. And we lost them in the woods, so we don't know." So they don't even count in the got-away numbers. This is how it's being done. Whatever number you think, whatever number is being reported is grossly underreported. I've been saying for some time, I think it's probably close to 16 million. That may be an underestimate. And it's a serious problem. And we cannot allow a federal election to be jeopardized by people who can run into the local welfare office, sign up for taxpayer benefits, and check a box that says, "I'm a citizen and I want to vote." This is common sense legislation. Chip Roy has done an extraordinary job. Others have, preparing this, getting it ready. We have to make sure that we don't we don't have an election that is flawed. And
So the crazy part is why would anybody want to not allow people to prove their citizenship to vote? It's really simple, because they want to cheat. Now, many of you know it's these people that are in power. They've ruined our country and our economy. And so it's really easy to get into debt, right? You get credit card debt, car loans, whatever it is. Suddenly your income is not as high as it used to be, or the cost of living exceeds your income. And now you don't know what to do. Interest is piling on and you're trying to ignore it. Well, I can tell you this. There is a solution to you today, and it's with donewithdebt.com. I've been in that situation before. I know what it's like. It's really bothers you when you know that you owe all this money. But you guys, there is a time-sensitive solution where you don't even have to file for bankruptcy. You do not have to pull out a personal loan, and they can help you offload all of your debt today with their special program. Go to donewithdebt.com, donewithdebt.com, and click Vigilant News at checkout. That's all you've got to do today, and they will help you. Donewithdebt.com. Now, as I mentioned, it's really crazy because the majority of Americans do support voter ID. Here is a clip from Jesse Waters on Fox News showing it's not just the majority of Americans, but the vast majority of Americans support this. So why in the world would Democrats oppose it unless their only option was because they wanted to cheat? Listen.
81% of voters specifically say they are in favor of voter ID. So Democrats are going to vote against something that 81% of Americans are in favor of? Really?
Yeah, well, I was proud to join with the Speaker of the House and my friend Mike Lee over in the Senate to introduce the SAVE Act. It's legislation that I authored. This is legislation that would require.
So, sorry, that was not Jesse Waters. That was Fox Business. But the point is that they introduce this. 81% of Americans support this. So the absolute insanity of all of this is that the majority of Americans care. The government is introducing this, but the Biden administration wants to oppose it. And I'd love to know your opinions on why you think the government does not want us to prove our identity to vote when you have to prove your identity to even buy beer. Let me know in the comments below. And if you want more of these reports every day, don't forget to subscribe to us on Rumble and on X. We're at Vigilant News, or you can get our newsletter direct to your inbox by signing up for our newsletter at vigilantnews.com. Have a great rest of the week. Thank you for watching Beyond the Headlines, only on Vigilant News. And may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.